the black sun. Obviously, this screams Nazi philosophy because they dealt with the black sun. In the past, I've had people tell me that the black sun kind of functions as a type of portal. What was your experience?
Yeah, it's a type of virile energy, they call it. I think that had to do with the water base there, because the only memory I have of going into the water there was Preston Nichols trying to give me an interface, or Peter Moon. He did a lot of rituals with kids there, a lot of Crowley stuff there with kids, with the Cthulhu. But I actually did go in ships under the water, but it was terrifying because you had to be completely under. Some kids, they'd give you adrenochrome and then they would get possessed by like a Nephilim spirit, so they could do these types of missions and be strong. There was some type of bell that they had underneath the water, like a huge stone or rock that we traveled to. And we were supposed to ring on the bell like a dome. It kind of sounded like a hollow dome, but it had ancient inscriptions on it. I think they were trying to bring it up to the surface or parts of it. And it had something to do with the black sun, but I'm not sure what. But it's inverse light. So the angels taught me actually how to discharge and how to dislodge inverse light, because what they do is they open up an area, they create a bunch of loose energy, and then that's all like congested and compacted inverse light. So you just flip that around and then God's light can come in and seal a place.
And that's so interesting that you mentioned that. Okay. And of course, here I am hearing you use these terms, and I'm like, we deal with inverse light. So one of the biggest sources of inverse light that I've had to deal with has to do with Kabbalah. Because
exactly. Yep.
The Ein Sof Ha'or, the limitless light of nothing, from which this counterfeit creative template descends, which is Kabbalah, which today often gets associated with the New Age, but really you find its source point in Jewish mysticism, which I believe happens to be canonized Babylonian mystery religion perfected. And
yes,
with that, the light that creates this counterfeit creative template, which they use for the deepest, darkest magic rituals and templatizing of mind control slaves, comes from inverse light. It's not genuine light. It's actually, that is an inverse light structure. And all of those Sephirah, which are like the Keter, the Bina, the Chokmah going down that template, are essentially like these transformers, is really the best way to look at it. They transform that inverse light going down the Kabbalah tree to Malkut, which is the base. And here, this same term, you're ascribing it to this black sun, which connects to the Nazi ideology. I mean, I'm just pinging all over the place, Jerusah. Wow.
Yeah, those are the cliff-offs. They want you to get stuck in those cliff-offs, which is like a type of antimatter. So they're bringing in their way where they can step into this reality with their antimatter and then defile an area. And when kids do favors for these beings, I found that's a way that they can stair step and get a foothold into the reality and then ground that type of energy here. So yeah, they programmed kids with like music there called Black Rain, and it was all about the black sun. And that's why some of the Montauk boys went that way, and then they became killers because they, they accepted and kind of grafted into that type of ideology because they gave in and then they couldn't fight it.
Look at that. It's so interesting. For those of you that want to look that up, this
I believe Israel.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Israel probably still has a base that they practice that Babylonian magic in. I've heard that there's a base right under Jerusalem, an underground base.
Really?
I'm pretty sure of it. It would not surprise me.
Okay. So, back to quantum access programs. So,